Well, we didn't expect to be here, but we're here. We have extra hockey, folks. 1-1 the score, live here from the Nexus Center in the National Championship. Guys, what just happened?
All right, I'm going to adjust the room. Let me just adjust the room. Nika, you cannot look that negative. You cannot be negative right now.
I'm upset.
I understand you're upset, but we're tied in national championship. We're getting free hockey.
I agree, but
awesome.
remember, I thought we were going to get out of this 1-0, and we almost did.
I don't think
and
there was a chance.
We should be down 2-1. That scrum at the end.
Yeah, but you also got to think the save that Beaver made at the halfway point of that period, he was on his back like an armadillo. That was nuts.
Are you kidding me?
That was nuts.
That was the best save I've ever seen.
So, I mean, even
oh my
basketball averages.
Sure.
Listen, we got free hockey national championship in Utica in our own backyard.
Another one.
This is awesome. It'll be a lot more awesome if the Pioneers can pull this one out. If they play like that, if they play like how they played in the third period, we will be going home very unhappy very shortly.
I mean, we said Beaver made the greatest save we've ever seen of all time, but Ryan Piros, he's making like good saves.
He has
for a
been
freshman
battle-tested.
A freshman that's new to this team. He is standing in his ground. He's not nervous. He is locked in. And we saw him in the post-game interview. He is a humble guy. He does not let pressure. He's not anything get to his head, and he is proving that right now.
Yeah, and being so young, Ray was talking about this on the broadcast. I totally agree. He said that he really thinks it's because, I forget his old school, I forget where he came from. It's completely blanking me right now. My mind's in a million different places. But his old school,
from?
yeah,
he's in Wisconsin somewhere.
Yeah, his old school, they didn't win. Like, they didn't win anything.
Yeah.
He came here mid-season. He's been battle tested. He knows what it's like to be just completely abused in the net. The Pioneers need to do a better job protecting him, I believe. But he's not phased, I don't think. He knows what it takes to be a winner. He knows what it feels like to lose. He's going to leave it all out there, and we've seen that through 60 minutes, and we're going to see it, hopefully, until the Utica Pioneers win this thing.
Yeah, 100%. And look, we're going into this. It's a golden goal. It's a 5v5. It's not 3v3 like the NHL, all right? So we're looking at exactly what we looked at on Friday. Personally, you gotta come out, and it can't be the way the first couple periods have been so far. Utica comes out and they get tested early because they're not clicked on, they're not set in right away, they're not dialed. They have to come into this one right away knowing that they need a goal within the first minute. This cannot go to a second overtime, although I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves. If this goes to a second overtime, I like our chances more than Hobart's. We're talking about depth here.
Well, my question to you guys now is, we saw 2 games ago for the Hobart Statesmen in the quarterfinal. They trailed 2-0 heading into the third period, tied it, went to overtime and won. Does that scare you guys at all? They've done it before. They've been in this spot and they came out on top.
So have we. So have we.
That's
it's a national championship hockey.
But at the same time, we did not trail in that Curry game. That's my only thinking. Is that right now
we're not trailing though. We're tied. We're in overtime because we earned overtime. In the NHL, overtime means a point. You come out with a point. These boys should be happy. They played decent hockey most of the game. Another great second period. Yes, you want to keep it first and third period. Gary said in the press conference that they love those second periods. Overtime is like a second period. I like it. I like going into this. Yes, Hobart has a lot of momentum. Do they look good? Yes, that was the best period they played, and not just because they got a goal. But it's overtime, clean slate, 0-0. Who scores first?
And I think you got to think, too, this Hobart team, regardless of what the seeding was, this is the best team in the tournament.
100%.
This is 100% the best team in the tournament. They lost 1 game all year. It was still a fluke loss to a 12-13 Albertus Magnus team. They're not happy this game is going overtime. They haven't led all game. And they're not a team who's used to, let alone being tied with someone, but being behind. They were behind, for majority their whole second period and majority of the third. They came back and tied it. Good for them. But they're in an overtime game with the Utica Pioneers, who barely got into this tournament. They needed an at-large bid to get here. They didn't even win their conference. If I'm Hobart, I'm ticked off. And honestly, I think that friction could come out in the locker room. Maybe again, like we saw in the first period, they try to take an over-aggressive play, over-aggressive angle. Pioneers beat them with an odd man rush. They have the speed to do it. And hopefully the Pioneers can net it if they get a chance.
And Utica's got to figure out a way to control the puck. I mean, every single time they tried to get into the neutral zone, it seemed like they lost the puck immediately. They tried to dump it in. Yeah. There was nothing they were able to do to keep the puck. Hobart gets the puck, they push into the O-zone, and they just pound, consistently. Utica's got to be able to figure out something to, first of all, stop that pounding from happening, and second of all, do something on offense, keep the puck for more than 3 seconds in the neutral zone.
Right, and going off of what you're saying here, Hobart's been very good in this period at keeping it at the blue line and possessing it, like you're saying. I feel like every time we get in the neutral zone, we're losing those battles. We're losing the puck. There's actually been a lot of mistakes in the neutral zone. I'm not going to call any names out, but there's been a lot of different occasions. I sound like a coach right now. I'm so pissed off. God, come on, boys. Like I said, it's not a throwaway game in Rochester.
It's just kind of soft. The Pioneers are playing a soft brand of hockey, I believe. Hobart is taking it to them. They're being the more physical team. and they're just being more aggressive. They're taking the chance when they come up. The Pioneers being way too passive, and they're just playing really soft and sloppy hockey. That's not going to win you an Natty.
Now tell me, how do they flip the script? How do they get back in this game and get a win?
Well, the easy, wise answer is to play the complete opposite way they're playing. They have Gary Heenan. You got to get back to what worked in the second period.
Yes.
Their zone entries were not there in the third. They kind of made the adjustment late in that period, but the zone entries and the breakouts were so much smoother in the second. You got to get back to doing that. Have Vitale, if he's on the ice, have Vitale break out early. You know you can get it to him. And my main problem that third period is the Pioneers defensive. They were just trying to flip it up and out of the zone to everybody. Can't do that. Not every guy has the speed of Vitale. You know what I mean? You got to know your personnel on the ice. You got to go back to what worked in the second. Find a way to enter the zone with confidence, with speed, and win the loose puck battle. Outnumber the puck, which is something they haven't been doing since they've scored.
And going back to what we were saying in the pregame show and every intermission report about how the third and fourth lines are going to dictate this game, this is overtime now. I need our top line to step up. If you're a first liner, you should know you're a first liner. You get your name announced first every single game you have this entire season. It's overtime of a national championship game. Those top three guys in the O-Zone need to step up today. Drake Morse, Johnny Malera, and Jacob
Your mind's cooked just like mine is, buddy.
But
those guys need to step up.
No, yeah, big time players make big time plays, and they need to see that here. Drake Moore scored a goal versus Hobart last year.
Yeah.
Has not scored one yet.
He's due.
Since St. Norbert, I want to say was the last time that he scored. But
yeah.
And he's been their best scorer all season. So he needs to make a play. He's made plays that don't go on the stat sheet, but he's due. He's due.
Yeah, 100%. And I honestly think that we can get out of this 100% with a win. And I don't mind this going deep into overtime as well. I know we're talking about this being like they got to go out and they got to get a goal early. But like I really don't mind this going deeper because I do think our depth is going to help us energy-wise. I think we look a little less fatigued at time than them. But that period, I don't know. We're going to look more fatigued because we're chasing. We're chasing the game right now. I mean, we got Shane Murphy doing laps around our O-Zone just chasing. And Gullickson doing the same thing.
Well, it's much easier to look fatigued when you're hemmed in your own D zone the entire period.
Yeah.
And when they weren't in their own end, they iced the puck and have to circle right back in. Can't change. What Ray keeps mentioning on the call, both these teams, it's really because the Hobart head coach, his guys, they're very quickly shifted. It's kind of rotation between the top two lines. That's really all it has been for them all game. You haven't seen this. You really haven't seen the fourth line much. You barely saw the third line. Guys like Chris Duclair, yeah, they're good players, but you haven't seen them much.
No.
And the Gary Heenan's kind of doing the same thing. He's quick shifting his guys. They're getting 30 seconds to 45 minutes if possible. If not, it's because they're heading their own D zone and continuing to ice the puck. For the Pioneers, you got to just dig deep, play with the depth that you have. Guys like Gullickson, guys like Shane Murphy, you got to dig deep. You have to find a way to make this thing happen. And listen, they don't ask how, they just ask how many. In this case, it's going to take 2 goals to win. Let's go win a national championship.
Yeah. And you know what? I started this out nice and low like this, upset. Jeremy's brought my energy back up. It's nice to talk to you boys. I feel a lot better about this. I'm still very confident we're going to come out of this. At the end of the day, we're a tested overtime team. We were just in overtime on Friday. There aren't no nerves in the Pioneer locker room. There's a lot of nerves in that Hobart locker room. They were chasing the whole game. They finally got a goal back. They're still on edge. As much as they have momentum, they don't really.
And if you're the Pioneers, what do you have to lose? You didn't win your conference.
Yep.
You lost your own teddy bear toss.
That's the story
That's the
story of the run right now.
If you're Hobart, you lost 1 game all year, and it was again Albertus Magnus. They won 12 games all season.
Everything to lose.
This is Utica's this is Hobart's game to lose. If you're the Pioneers, you're not even supposed to be here. What do you have to lose? Go throw everything. Go through the kitchen sink at this thing, and even then some. Don't throw the bathroom sink at it too.
I was gonna literally say
Bathroom sink.
You
Every sink you have.
Take the chances. Throw JB at him. Who cares? Throw everything you got. Take all the chances.
If you get my energy like it was here, I could go out there and I could go win somebody. I'm telling you, those football days are gonna come back to me.
In this game, you got to take chances. It's do or die. This is for a national championship. Some guys like Shane Murphy, Brian Scofield, this is their last hockey game ever.
Yes.
Most likely, the last hockey game in a Pioneer uniform at least. Take the chance. If you have a chance to go clear the zone and get on a rush, you got to go take it. You can't play passive. This is not the time on the what if or if I did this or could I have done that. You got to go. Don't think, just do.
Yep.
And if they can do that and have that mentality, they're going to win this game.
And I can tell you right now, as an ex-athlete that has finished his career and played in a game where it was basically we had to make the playoffs that game. The energy that you can get from yourself mentally and scrounge from deep within, it's very possible. This isn't like in high school when it's your last game, knowing you're going to go off to college and you get get your nice commitment post. This is it. You're not an athlete anymore. And some of these guys are 25, 26. Like, hockey's different. You play a lot
gotta get a
of
job
hockey your
after
whole
today.
life. Yes, and they're not used to that. This is the game of their lives. This is the 20 minutes of their entire lives. We said at the third period, we're going to say it now. We're back in overtime, boys, and there is going to be a different kind of energy from a lot of these older guys because they know in the back of their head since the start of this national championship run that every single minute could be their last minute.
Well, that was well said by all you guys. So lucky to be surrounded by great analysis.
Hey,
Jack,
and
one
I
more
mean,
thing?
you guys have said it. There's nothing else to lose. These guys have nothing else to lose. This game is the end of the season. I said it to start the game, but Beaver, basket weaver, window cleaner, Pioneers no tea.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Well
Come
said.
on.
Here we go. Overtime. Again, I cannot emphasize enough how much you guys need to watch this game. It is going to be one of the craziest finishes, regardless of who wins this game. Tune into WPN on 107 FM. Guys, overtime to decide the national champion. Don't go anywhere. We will be here soon. Don't miss it.